But we, Joseph and us, we can choose to be bitter or we can choose to be better. Bitter or better. God was faithful to be with Joseph, and God is faithful to be with you too. And I don't know about you, but as I've traveled through the peaks and valleys of my life, it just seems that God was so much closer in the midst of the mess than He was whenever I reached the crescendo of the mountaintop, whenever I arrived in the palace. Why is that? I think it's because in the valley, in the mess, we have no choice. God is our only hope. But when we rise up to the palace, sometimes it's easy to forget the one who was faithful to get us there, and we neglect the relationship of the one who has been with us all along. Because we're no longer dependent on God, or at least we think we're not. We tuck Him away until the next mess. Joseph was placed in the palace for a purpose. I know that's a lot of peas, but he was. To store up food in times of plenty so that he could provide for others in times of poverty. To prepare for what would come next. All of Joseph's life had prepared him for this moment. In charge of Potiphar's house, in charge of the prison. Now he's in charge of the whole flippin' country. He's in charge of Egypt. His life in the palace was intended to benefit others, to save an entire nation from starving to death. How's that for pressure? To make the blessings of plenty last through the season of poverty. And perhaps we have been placed in the palace for a purpose also. Perhaps our life in the palace is intended to benefit others as well. That we are called to share our blessings accumulated through times of plenty so that others can make it through their season of poverty. And it's a good thing none of that is relevant for the life we live today, right? Have the events of your life, best of times, worst of times, ups, downs, peaks and valleys, have they prepared you for such a moment as this?